My fiancé fell in love with an ordinary girl while I was studying abroad. Later, the girl took money from his family and left, only to die in a car accident while abroad. He admitted his mistake to me. We got married, and he spoiled me rotten, making me the happiest wife in the world. It wasn't until 7 years later that he became a major player in Beijing's political circles. He destroyed my family and sent me a perfectly healthy person to a mental hospital, where I suffered terribly. Before he killed himself, I heard him say, "Lin Qian, this is what your family owes me and Tingting." I just found out that he blames me for Zhongting's death. From the moment he agreed to marry me, he began plotting how to get back at me and my family. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on that day. He said to me, "Lin Qian, I've fallen in love with someone else." The cruise dinner was a welcome home party thrown by my family and friends to celebrate my recent return from abroad. But when I saw my fiancé kissing another girl, I was so furious that I dragged him into the sea. I want to see who matters more to him. The outcome speaks for itself. It was my childhood friend, Li Jiechen, who rescued me. Meanwhile, my fiancé, Lu Yan, went to rescue his beloved, Zhongting. At that moment, I vomited the seawater with a groan, and when I opened my eyes, I saw everyone looking at me with concern. With his hair completely soaked and a look of fear in his eyes, Li Jiechen stared intently at me, his hands still pressed against my chest. His handsome face was now pale as a sheet. "Wake up! Wake up!" Those around them breathed a sigh of relief and whispered in relief. I stared blankly at Li Jiechen. Only then did I realize that I had actually been reborn. It was Li Jiechen who saved me in my past life, too, but instead of being grateful to him, I actually blamed him for meddling otherwise. Lu Yan would surely have saved me first. This infuriated Li Jiechen so much that he turned and walked away on the spot. After that, he had a high fever for several days. This time, I raised my hand, wrapped my arms around his neck, pressed my lips to his, and whispered, "Li Jiechen, I'll take responsibility for you." I went back to my room to change, and when I opened the door, I saw Lu Yan looking at me as if he wanted to say something but couldn't bring himself to. Our families arranged our marriage when we were children, and we've known each other since we were kids. Lu Yan is not only handsome but also ambitious, making him a young man of high standing in Beijing's social circles. However, at this point, he was still a world away from the bigwigs in Beijing's social circles. I cleared my throat. The moment I snapped back to reality, all I wanted to do was give myself a good slap. Jumping into the sea like an idiot just to see who he cares about actually do something so brainless. You must have water in your head. Xian. I'm sorry. Lu Yan apologized guiltily. Are you okay? Is it a relief that I didn't die? I gave a cold chuckle, but still replied to him in a calm tone. Lu Yan, why are you apologizing? Is it guilt, or something else? My questions made him feel a little uncomfortable, but it was as if he had made a firm resolution. His hand at his side tightened slightly, and his refined, handsome face took on an expression of determination. Lin Qian, I've fallen in love with someone else. A moment of silence fell over the hallway. Lu Yan's words hit me like a ton of bricks, but thankfully, they didn't affect me this time. With a soft sigh, I raised my hand to press it against my forehead. In my past life, when he said that, I cried and threw a tantrum, and in the end, I even slapped Zhongting. However, she still refused to call off the engagement. As a result, the situation escalated further, prompting the Lu family to step in and guarantee that the engagement between the two families would not be broken off. Eventually, the story ends with Zhongting using the Lu family's money to go abroad, where she dies unexpectedly, and us getting married. He apologized to me, admitted his mistake, and after we got married, he pampered me until I became the envy of everyone. Until he truly became a powerhouse in Beijing's political circles, with no one able to influence him. But when he suddenly turned against me, he ruined my entire family. My family went bankrupt. My father jumped to his death. My mother lost her mind. My eldest brother went to prison. and my second brother was left disabled for life. But he had me committed to a mental hospital for no reason, where I was tormented until I took my own life. He said to me, "Ever since we agreed to get married, I've been waiting for this day. Lin Xian, you and Tingting owe me this. I only just found out that Zhongting was 3 months pregnant when she died. I'm sorry." Lu Yan apologized sincerely. "But what happens between us is our own business. It has nothing to do with Zhongting." I pressed my slightly throbbing temples and gave a soft hm. He lowered his hands and asked calmly, "So what do you want to do about it?" "We're calling off the engagement. The two families have been close for generations and have always done business together. Back then, they arranged the engagement because a massive project required a family alliance to strengthen their ties. After we got engaged, I went abroad to study for 2 years. I never expected that during those 2 years, Lu Yan would fall in love with an ordinary girl. You name the terms," he said again. He figured I wouldn't agree to it easily. After all, I love him so much. In my previous life, I wasn't willing. But this time, fine. Let's call off the engagement. But only if your family, the Lus, withdraws from the new partnership with the Lins. The Lu family wants Lu Yan to rise even higher. And that was our plan as well. There's no need for that right now. This time, I've decided to take matters into my own hands. I readily agreed to his proposal. The conditions I added weren't unreasonable. He paused for a moment. Xian. I don't know if he was surprised by my decisiveness or shocked by my cold-heartedness. I'm not really interested in knowing. Lu Yan's rise to become a major player in Beijing's political circles began with his collaboration with my family. I'd like to see what he can do when we set things right at the source. Okay. He finally agreed. But my eyes were drawn to Li Jiechen, who had appeared behind him. He has already changed into a new outfit, dressed in a suit and tie, with short, neatly cropped hair that gave him an air of refinement. His strikingly handsome face wore a serious expression that stripped away some of the carefree air of a playboy. When our eyes met, his stern expression softened, and the corners of his thin lips turned up slightly, giving him a hint of a playboy's charm. Lin Xian, how do you plan to make amends to me? Shall we get married? I gave Li Jiechen a faint smile right in front of Lu Yan. Li Jiechen is the second son of the Li family. We grew up together, and I was always picking on him. In my previous life, Lu Yan had me committed to a mental hospital for no reason. By the time he finally saw me, I had been force-fed medication to the point of delirium. All I remember is clutching his hand and begging him, "I'm not crazy. Jiechen, take me outside." He agreed. Okay. Lin Xian, wait for me. In the end, I didn't wait for him, because my only family member, my husband, Lu Yan, found out and forbade anyone from seeing me again, until I took my own life in despair. An arranged marriage. Sure. Li Jiechen agreed without hesitation. Lu Yanchen stood to one side, his face dark with anger. Lin Xian, are you out of your mind? But I just gave him a cold, dismissive look. Lu and Miss Zhong were as close as can be. But if Jiechen and I are together, does that mean I'm crazy? Li Jiechen stepped forward and affectionately placed his hand on my temple, applying just the right amount of gentle pressure. He whispered in my ear, "Is the pressure right?" How did he know I had a headache? Before he had time to think, his gaze shifted to Lu Yan, and he replied sarcastically to what had just been said. The Li family isn't any worse than the Lu family, is it? I'm even better looking than young Master Lu. Why on earth would Xian go crazy over marrying me? Or is it that, now that he's realized Xian is so sought after, young Master Lu feels he was a fool to choose an ordinary woman and regrets letting such a gem as Xian slip through his fingers? Lu Yan. Zhong Ting approached us with a flushed face, her innocent features betraying a look of haughty stubbornness as she looked at me. Miss Lin, my family background can't compare to yours, but as for everything else, you can't compare to him in other ways either. I replied casually. Cut people off before they can speak, leaving them speechless. I straightened up slightly, subtly flaunting my 34C figure, and shot a sidelong glance at her flat chest. Her face flushed even redder. As for looks, I'm the glamorous, bold type outshining her innocent, delicate charm is a piece of cake. As for my education, needless to say, I earned both my bachelor's and master's degrees from Ivy League schools, and with these 2 additional years of advanced study, I'm light years ahead of her, who barely scraped by at a second-tier 211 university. Zhong Ting fainted, and Lu Yan caught her, lifting her into his arms. His eyes ablaze with intensity. Lin Xian, you've gone too far. Is that going too far? That's nothing yet. I shrugged. The engagement with the Lu family was successfully called off. I heard that Lu Yan had a major falling out with his entire family and insisted on calling off the engagement, which is what finally forced the Lu family elders to agree. As the Lu family's most outstanding heir, he certainly has the right to challenge them. It's a shame. With life having been so easy for him, he probably forgot that he wasn't the only son in the Lu family. It's fine if I'm not his fiancé, but the family won't accept an heir who's too selfish. Although he broke off his engagement with me, the Lu family still didn't agree to let him marry Zhong Ting. Our family has switched from partnering with the Lu family to partnering with the Li family, handled by Li Jiechen. However, after enduring Lu Yan's arrogance, the Lu family began to favor their second son, breaking with the tradition of always naming the eldest son as heir. 3 months had passed, and Lu Yan was visibly losing ground, but he still felt he was a disappointment to his family. He even took Zhong Ting with him to social events. In the banquet hall, I linked my arm through Li Jiechen's, a faint smile playing on my lips. As I listened to him discuss plans for the latest project with others, I could hear my elder's words of praise ringing in my ears. Qian really is a godsend for Jiechen. That kid always said he wasn't interested in business, but I think he's done a great job these past 3 months. I smiled but said nothing. Out of the corner of his eye, he caught a glimpse of Lu Yan, who was arm in arm with Zhong Ting at a social gathering. Looks like I got brushed off by the Princey off the Shanghai scene. I raised my champagne glass slightly, took a small sip, and suppressed the scoff that rose in my heart. Lu Yan, do you still naively believe that you can succeed on your own? Clang. The soft clink of the glasses brought me back to my senses. At the same time, I felt Li Jiechen gently pinch my waist. He shot a sidelong glance in Lu Yan's direction, his tone tinged with bitterness. Can't bear to part with him. I gave a slight smile. Do you think I would? Li Jiechen's older brother was diagnosed with a rare disease and has gone abroad for treatment. Li Jiechen has landed several major projects in quick succession, and his momentum is only growing. As one thing wanes, another grows. Lu Yan is the one who is waning. The Lu family's second son is attending more and more formal events on behalf of the family. Li Jiechen took a sip of red wine and smiled. I watched as all those who had once flattered Lu Yan began to go through the motions, and it put me in a great mood. With no interference from me this time around, Lu Yan and Zhong Ting were deeply in love. Upon hearing that she had edited a video of the Lu family using money to fob her off and send it to Lu Yan, he was so enraged that he once again fell out with the Lu family. This time, he simply took the household registration book and, despite his family's objections, registered his marriage with Zhong Ting. The Lu family flatly stated that if he did not get a divorce, they would strip him of his right to inherit. Lu Yan put his decision into action and moved into his 500 square meter penthouse. 2 weeks later, at a press conference announcing a major project signed by the Lu family's second son, he was publicly named as the family's heir. Lu Yan, however, was stripped of his right to inherit. Even though he had lost his status as the Lu family heir, Lu Yan still considered himself quite capable after all. He had a considerable amount of personal wealth. However, the Lu family was increasingly favoring their second son. He realized that although his second son wasn't as successful in business as his eldest, he was doing quite well and most importantly, he was obedient. By the time Lu Yan realized that the family didn't seem to need him after all, it was already a little too late. So he came to see me. At that moment, I was sitting at an outdoor cafe, waiting for Li Jiechen, who I had arranged to meet. Lu Yan hurried out of his car. The afternoon sun cast its rays upon him, The once confident young master of the Liu family now looked slightly anxious. I glanced at him calmly through my sunglasses. Is there something you need? me.Lu. Is that you? His tone was harsh and carried a familiar sense of intimidation. I suddenly froze. This is something he only gained after becoming a big shot in Beijing political circles. As if to give me a definitive answer, he stepped forward and forcefully pulled my sunglasses off my face, forcing me to look him in the eye. The setting sun was blinding me, but I stared intently at Liu Yan standing before me. I'm certain of one thing. He was reborn, too. I raised my hand and nonchalantly snatched the sunglasses from his grasp, slipped them on with an air of elegance, and said in a cool tone, "Didn't you say that not being able to be with Zhong Ting was your biggest regret? Do you still feel that way now? Now that he's married her, he shouldn't have any regrets, right?" Liu Yan pressed his lips together and remained silent. Liu Yan. I won't push you this time. I picked up my coffee and took a sip, my tone indifferent. I'm actually pretty curious to see how your choice turns out this time. I set down my coffee cup and tilted my head back slightly. Golden ginkgo leaves swirled in the autumn breeze and fell, breaking the silence between him and me. I can become a big shot in Beijing, too. He was brimming with confidence. Come to think of it, he's always believed that his rise to power in Beijing's political circles was due to his own abilities. He has never once acknowledged that his brilliant achievements were due to using my family as a stepping stone, the support of the Liu family, and his own considerable abilities, all of which were indispensable. Lin Qian, even if you interfere, it won't change anything. I laughed. Liu Yan, I just switched our family business's partner. How does that concern you? There are plenty of capable people out there, but at best, they end up as high-level employees. It is the family's heritage that truly provides a foundation to rely on. I wonder if Liu Yan will ultimately believe my conclusion. Xian. Li Jiechen walked over, holding a single rose. He handed me the flowers as if it were the most natural thing in the world, then shot Liu Yan a sidelong glance. me.Lu. Are you here to deliver the invitations? I raised an eyebrow in puzzlement. Doesn't Xian know? I heard me.Lu is having a wedding banquet, but even though I heard Miss Zhong is pregnant, the Liu family still hasn't recognized the marriage. Li Jiechen sat down next to me, grabbed my wrist, and spoke in a tone that would have driven Liu Yan crazy. My Xian is different. Me parents are always asking us when we're going to get engaged. Liu Yanshin turned and walked away. I took a light whiff of the rose's fragrance and looked up at Li Jiechen, who was smiling warmly. The sunlight fell on his meticulously styled hair, giving it a golden sheen and casting a halo of light around him. We've known each other since childhood, so I know exactly what kind of person he is. He's never been the type to strive for success, but these days he's really putting in the effort, and very attentive. What's wrong? He raised his eyebrows slightly, but the tenderness in his eyes was impossible to hide. Something's not right. Has he been reborn too? Looking away, I set the rose down, picked up my coffee, took a sip, and said softly, I plan to take over the project the Liu family is bidding on. Sure. How much funding do you need? Li Jiechen spoke calmly and composedly. The funds my family currently has available are. Li Jiechen. I interrupted him. His gaze took on a serious, probing quality. I'm talking about me taking the cut. I'll be the one raking in the big bucks. I know, but you probably don't have enough of your own money, and your family might not be willing to fully support you. So I'll cover the shortfall. We haven't even gotten engaged yet. And even if we were a couple in an arranged marriage, we wouldn't go this far. In my previous life, shortly after entering the business world, I married Liu Yan and retired to live the life of a wealthy housewife. Liu Yan is in charge of all business partnerships related to the family business. Liu Yan was a master of disguise, and he was indeed very capable. He managed to fool everyone. Recently, I've blocked quite a few collaborations that should have gone to him and replaced him with Li Jiechen. But I don't want to simply replace the people involved in these collaborations either. Who knows if Li Jiechen will end up becoming the second Liu Yan. However, his composure at that moment made me seem overly cynical and petty. No normal person would throw money around like that. He used to like to have fun. But he's no fool. Unless. Aren't you afraid I'll take advantage of you? I gazed into his eyes. His smiling dark eyes reflected my inquiring gaze. He took my hand, gently kissed the back of it, his eyelashes fluttering slightly, his voice full of regret. I was in a car accident on my way to pick you up. I was in a coma for several months, and when I woke up, you were already gone. My heart trembled and ached at this unexpected news. He was reborn, too. The car accident was caused by Lu Yan. I felt something wet on the back of my hand. 2 scalding tears fell one after another, instantly spreading across her cheeks. My lips moved, but not a single word came out. All I could hear was his regret-filled explanation. Lu Yan knew I had gone to see you, knew what I was planning to do, and deliberately set up an accident. Li, you fool. Ever since he didn't save you when you fell into the sea. You should have known this man doesn't care about you. He cried. I was about to say something to lighten the mood, but he lifted his reddened eyes and suddenly pulled me into his arms. You said you'd take responsibility for me. I have no choice but to responsibly move up the engagement date. Coincidentally, Lu Yan and Zhongting's wedding was also on that day. I swear. I really didn't get engaged on purpose on the day of their wedding. Li Jiechen set the date. Facing my intense gaze, he stammered nervously. Xian, you're so beautiful, with that crown on your head. You're my queen. Our reflections are mirrored in the glass, and the jewelry sparkles so brightly it dazzles the eyes. The Li family went all out for this engagement party. The crown, earrings, and necklace I'm wearing worth a total of several hundred million were all provided by the Li family. It was as if they wanted to shout it from the rooftops. They were proud to be engaged to me. Li Jiechen took my hand and kissed the back of it tenderly, then knelt on one knee, like a knight before his queen. I will be devoted to you for the rest of my life. I just asked him if he chose that date on purpose. Is he really going to make such a big deal out of it? Li Jiechen. I swallowed hard, pulled my hand back, and felt a little uncomfortable. You. Don't do that. How do I look? His eyes took on a slightly aggrieved look. I'm already yours. Just then, our parents knocked on the door and walked right in. When they saw Li Jiechen kneeling on one knee, everyone's eyes turned to the two of us. For some reason, I blushed bright red. I felt like I couldn't clear my name even if I jumped into the Yellow River. But everyone is so fond of us that they're happy to see it happen. Finally, he left with a smile, reminding them, you'd better get ready, most of the guests have already arrived. Li Jiechen regained his serious expression and finally spoke up to explain. I chose this day on purpose, but as far as malice goes, I can't hold a candle to the Lu family. You know what? Today is also the day Lu Yan is getting married. I gasped. Is it that urgent? So, will the Lu family's relatives attend Lu Yan's wedding? Seeing that there were only a handful of guests in attendance, Lu Yan's face darkened. Zhongting, dressed in her wedding gown, felt both hatred and anger, but she still pretended to be magnanimous and considerate, lowering her eyes as she apologized. I'm sorry. Lu Yan, it's all my fault for not winning the Lu family's favor. The Lu family is clearly trying to humiliate us. Is this a silent reminder that without the protection of one's family, personal abilities are of no use at all? How could they treat Lu Yan like this? Lu Yan took her hand, pulled her into his arms, and gazed at the dazzling crystal chandelier ahead with eyes as cold as ice. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. As long as I like it, that's all that matters. He'll be a big shot in Beijing was in his past life, and he'll be one in this one too. They'll all regret it when the time comes. After our engagement, my relationship with the Li family grew even closer. Thanks to my lobbying, Li Jiechen's support, and the fruitful results of several productive meetings I'd had since coming back from my rebirth, Dad and my brother finally agreed to let me take on the Lu family's bid. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so of course I won't let it slip away. When the bid was significantly higher than in my previous life, I was bound to win. Lu Yanli shot me a glare, his anger impossible to hide. I gave him a slight smile. Of course. He knew the bidding price from his previous life. But he didn't have much capital to draw upon now. After all, the Liu family was about to give up on him for good. As I was leaving the venue, Liu Yan blocked my way at the door. Now that he's married, he doesn't exactly look radiant, seems a bit haggard. Is this what happens when you work too many overtime hours? Lin Xian. What do you mean? People were coming and going, and everyone turned to look at me. I crossed my arms and said, fair bidding, right? You never used to have any ambition to enter the business world. So, the business success that should have been mine ended up in your hands. Is he still refusing to admit it? How much did he take advantage of me to become a big shot in Beijing in his past life? And despite having taken every advantage, he actually destroyed my family. You don't know the first thing about running a business, he said with a hint of contempt. Don't worry about that. After all, I did graduate from an Ivy League school, and besides, my gaze fell on Li Jiechen, who was opening the car door and striding quickly toward us, and the corners of my mouth turned up slightly. My fiancé has been a great help to me, too. Li Jiechen kissed my forehead right away. Congratulations. Honey, we're just engaged, we haven't gotten married yet. How could I have a wife? But I still gave a faint, sweet smile and said deliberately, thank you too, Jiechen. Without your funding, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do this. Seeing the two of us showing off our affection, Liu Yan's eyes narrowed with fury, and he clenched his fists. It's just one bid. You can't change anything. Li Jiechen put his arm around my shoulder, paying no attention to Liu Yan's words, but instead asked for my opinion with great earnestness. The French chef just got off the plane. What would you like to eat tonight? Are you here already? Didn't you say you wouldn't be free until the day after tomorrow? My wife wants to eat itho. Can we wait until the day after tomorrow? He tenderly brushed a strand of hair from my ear. It's starting to rain. Let's get in the car first. I nodded. Zhongting walked up the steps, holding an umbrella. When she saw me, she bit her lip, as if she wanted to say something. I merely glanced at her briefly as Li Jiechen put his arm around her shoulders, and the two of them walked down the steps together under the same umbrella, looking very close. I could hear Zhongting and Liu Yan talking behind me. I didn't win the bid. It's okay. It's no big deal. I curled the corners of my mouth, gazed at the rain and mist thickening ahead, and thought to myself, is this really just a minor matter? Liu Yan, you know that's not true. Otherwise, you wouldn't look so flustered. The weather forecast says there will be heavy rain this afternoon. Li Jiechen's soft voice drifted into her ear. Looks like the rain has started a little earlier than the forecast said. I turned my head at the sound. A warm sensation suddenly washed over me. We were already standing close together, and when I suddenly turned my face, our lips touched. A tingling sensation spread through my body. Standing there in front of the car, my head went all fuzzy. Li Jiechen's dark eyes instantly grew as deep as a pond, a faint blush spreading across his handsome face, and his earlobes grew hot. The scent lingering in the air was mingled with the smell of rain. Just as I realized what was happening and started to pull away, he released his grip on my shoulder and instead cupped the back of my head. Deepening this unexpected kiss, the raindrops fell on the umbrella, making a soft pattering sound, as if composing a melody just for the two of us. I received the news of Zhongting's miscarriage while we were having dinner that evening. A friend bombarded me with voice messages on WeChat. I heard it was just a minor fender bender because the rain was so heavy. To think that could cause a miscarriage, Guess she just wasn't meant to marry into a wealthy family. They're already married. Do you really think a high society family is a place where an ordinary little nobody like her can easily make a name for herself? Now that she can't have children, I'll see how she manages. Liu Yan must be blind to fall for a fake saint like her. True love, I suppose, I replied casually, seeing how disappointed the Liu family is in him. I really want to see if this true love can last forever. Everyone knows how much I used to love Liu Yan. When I came back from studying abroad and found my fiancé had been stolen from me, everyone was even more outraged than I was. Whatever. I stopped loving him a long time ago. That's true. Li Jiechen is pretty great, too. He's been working so hard lately that he's practically become a role model for us spoiled brats. I put down my phone, picked up the glass of champagne in front of me, and gazed out at the neon-lit night view. It turned out that even if he had the chance to start over, and Liu Yan had married Zhong Ting, they still wouldn't have been able to save their child. When Li Jiechen came back from the restroom, he naturally leaned down and kissed my forehead. His voice soft, almost a whisper. What are you thinking about? I gazed at our reflections in the window. I shared the news with him. He raised his long, slender fingers to caress my face, letting them drift down to my chin, which he lifted slightly, his eyes brimming with deep affection. My fiancé is distracted by another man, and it's killing me. What a drama queen. We have to find him, he said. What are you punishing me for? Li. He leaned down again and silenced her with a kiss. He wrapped one arm around my waist and held me tight. He was genuinely jealous. It wasn't until several months later that I saw Zhong Ting again. Her face was haggard, and her usually haughty eyes now held a hint of pleading. Lin Xian, you win. I'm giving up. Please spare Liu Yan. Hearing that, I laughed. Is that why she asked me out? I glanced at my watch, although I still had some time before meeting with the business partner. She wasn't worth wasting my time on. I have no interest in your marital affairs, I said indifferently as I stood up. Lin Xian, what exactly do you want? I told you I'm stepping down, and I'll divorce Liu Yan. What do you think? What does it matter to me whether they get divorced or not? Zhong Ting's eyes welled up with tears. Love really is nothing compared to money. You rich people really can do whatever you want. I looked at her as if she were an idiot. Suddenly, he caught a glimpse of a strange pale red circle beneath the stand-up collar of her shirt. And it struck him. Liu Yan has a tendency toward domestic violence. When things are going well, he acts like a gentleman, carrying himself with an air of superiority. But when faced with adversity, it's easy to lose control of one's emotions. In a past life, after we lost a major project, he was so furious that he grabbed me by the throat and pinned me against the wall. Why would I lose? I'm not going to lose. Then he knelt down on the floor and apologized to me, saying he had lost his senses because he was drunk. I actually did forgive him at the time, but later on, he still had moments when he lost control of his emotions. He physically abused me twice, and once he became a big shot in Beijing's social circles. He stopped even trying to hide it. Punching and kicking me, anger surged through my body, but I took a deep breath and reminded myself that this life was a fresh start. I haven't experienced any of these things in the past. Keeping my eyes fixed on Zhong Ting's neck, I said calmly, if there's evidence of domestic violence, it'll make a divorce easier down the line. Zhong Ting's expression changed instantly. His hand moved toward his neck in a discreet gesture. What are you talking about? She exclaimed, her eyes widening in anger. Domestic violence. I raised an eyebrow and said nothing. To my surprise, that only made her even angrier, and she launched into a tirade at me. It's all your fault. You've caused his business to suffer one setback after another, and we've lost our child. Lin Xian, how could you be so heartless? Business is all about fair competition. Now that he's lost the Liu family's backing, how can he possibly compete with the major clans on the strength of his personal wealth alone? Zhong Ting stood there, stunned. That's true. How could she possibly understand any of this? There's a limit to how far your thinking can go. After a moment, she pursed her lips slightly and said, but he's the eldest son of the Liu family, the heir. The Liu family isn't just made up of him. Besides, he was stripped of his status as heir a long time ago. As for your kids, what's it got to do with me? I gave a cold laugh. You two need to stop being so ridiculous. You're trying to pin every dirty trick on someone else. Then please help Liu Yan. Okay. He's really in a terrible state. Zhong Ting put on a pleading expression, her voice breaking as she spoke. Not interested. I got up and left, tossing over my shoulder. I'm busy signing a $1 billion deal. As time went on, I secured one partnership after another, and my name gradually became known in the business world. Everyone knows I've hired quite a few alumni to join my advisory team at high salaries, and some have even snidely remarked that I was just born into the right circumstances. If I had actually gone into business on my own, there's no way I would have ended up in this situation. It's okay. If you're born into the right family and don't screw things up, you're guaranteed to succeed. What can one person accomplish? With the support of a strong family background, financial backing, a capable team, and both ambition and ability, all of these are essential for success. I understand perfectly. My phone suddenly rang. Lu Yan, whom I hadn't spoken to in a year, asked over the phone, Xian, can we meet up? Nearly 2 years was enough time for Lu Yan, that self-important golden boy, to come crashing down to earth. His personal fortune has also been largely wiped out by bad investments. Unfortunately, the projects he had his eye on were either operating at a loss or had been put on hold due to problems. With their funds frozen, when I saw him again, he no longer had that defiant look he used to have. He started off with a sincere apology. Xian. I'm sorry. I sat calmly across from him, saying nothing. The fact that he apologized so bluntly suggests things must have been really bad. But he wouldn't apologize for no reason. Just as I thought. After apologizing, his next words were, would you be willing to work with me? He was out of funds and needed to raise capital. But unfortunately, without his status as the Lu family heir, raising capital wasn't going to be easy. Who will vouch for him? me.Lu. Based on your performance evaluation, you do not currently meet the qualifications to work with me. I mean this with all sincerity. It's not like I work with just anyone. But as he listened, his expression changed, and he looked as if his pride had been wounded. Lin Xian. You know what I'm capable of. Pfft. I laughed. What are you laughing at? You're so capable. How did you end up in this situation? Running out of money and facing foreclosure on your home. Li Jiechen told me all of this. This little jealous one. After saying that, she kept stealing glances at my face, trying to see if I'd feel sorry for her. You idiot. How could I possibly feel sorry for Lu Yan? If I'm going to feel sorry for anyone, it's him. I've seen how hard we've both worked to better ourselves over the past couple of years. Whether it's emotional comfort or tangible financial support for our careers, these things have long since brought us closer together. To keep Li Jiechen, that little jealous type, from reading too much into it, I told him that Lu Yan had asked me to meet with him this time. Even though he said he was in a meeting, he was already standing at the entrance to the coffee shop, dressed in a black suit and tie. He strode forward with long, graceful strides, his handsome features drawing frequent glances from passers-by. I looked away and heard Lu Yan still saying innocently, as long as you're willing to help me. Why would she help you? Li Jiechen interrupted Lu Yan. Lu Yan frowned at me. He was probably surprised to see Li Jiechen there. I smiled calmly. My fiancé gets a little jealous, and I don't want him to get the wrong idea about me meeting my ex-fiancé. I made a point of pronouncing the words former fiancé clearly and naturally. Yeah, I did it on purpose. Look. As long as it's my fiancé, whether it's him or Li Jiechen, either one could actually turn out quite well. The point is me fiancé. If me.Lu is so eager to help, why doesn't he go back and ask the Lu family for assistance? Li Jiechen naturally sat down next to me and, without thinking, picked up the glass I'd been drinking from and took a sip. It really hits where it hurts. The Lu family isn't exactly a place he can just go back to whenever he wants. The Lu family's second son had tasted the sweetness of power. The Lu company had long been his for the taking. There was no way he would give it up. And to make her parents happy, she underwent artificial insemination and gave birth to twin sons. Lu Yan, the eldest son, had long since been sidelined. The chances of returning are extremely slim, unless Hu goes out and finds a suitable marriage partner to help him make a fresh start. Lu Yanhan left with a grim expression. I glanced sideways at the innocent Li Jiechen and sighed. You did that on purpose. Intentionally provoke Lu Yanchao into taking action against the Lu family. Li Jiechen shrugged. No, I'm just telling it like it is. Why would he beg my wife? She'd never help him, right? Honey, she's my fiancée, I said, rolling my eyes at him. He's really gotten hooked on calling his wife. So when are we getting married? Here we go again. He's been wanting to get married all year, but I still wasn't really ready. I gently took his hand, kissed it, and lowered my eyes. Wait a little longer. He hummed in response. Okay. Things are going to stay busy from here on out. I heard that Liu Yan has bowed to the Liu family. But it hasn't gone very smoothly. Then came the news of Zhong Ting's death. This news came as a complete surprise. It is said that he was traveling abroad to take his mind off things when he was accidentally struck by a car and killed. However, less than a month later, Liu Yan married a wealthy young woman with ties to the underworld. With his wife's family backing him, Liu Yan wanted to reclaim his position as heir to the Liu family. But the Liu family's second son had other ideas. For a time, internal strife within the Liu family was rampant, and their share of the business plummeted. Li Jiechen and I watched the fight unfold from the sidelines, taking it all in with a sense of schadenfreude. Just as the two tigers were nearly finished tearing each other apart, Li Jiechen anonymously sent evidence implicating Liu Yan in his wife's murder to the Liu family's second son. The news that a younger brother had reported his older brother for a crime quickly spread like wildfire within the industry. It remains unclear whether Liu Yan killed his wife. But the Liu family's second son died first at the cruise ship banquet. I saw with my own eyes as Liu Yan accidentally pushed his younger brother into the sea. The cruise ship banquet will host local high society figures, and Liu Yan will be there too. I am actually quite surprised. The sea breeze brushed against my face, and as I watched him push someone into the water, I stood frozen in place. But as if sensing something, he suddenly turned around. My wrist was yanked hard, and I was pulled into a familiar embrace. Li Jiechen covered my mouth with his hand and shook his head at me. His chest rose and fell rapidly. I never would have imagined that Liu Yan had become so deranged that he would kill someone. Footsteps approached, and Liu Yan asked coldly, "Who's there? This is a dead end. There's nowhere to retreat, nowhere to hide." I looked at Li Jiechen with fear in my eyes, but he kissed my forehead and whispered in my ear, "Don't make a sound." What is he going to do? I wrapped my arms around him, but he pried my hands away. He stepped out and, catching sight of Liu Yan, shouted, "Someone, quick! Young Master Liu has fallen into the sea." Liu Yan stared at Li Jiechen with a stern expression. This means Li Jiechen saw everything. The two locked eyes, silently sizing each other up. And in the end, Liu Yan did not come any closer. He pretended to blend in with the crowd rushing toward him and shouted anxiously, "Quick! Help him!" With my back pressed against the wall, cold sweat soaking half my body, the sea breeze blew in, sending a shiver down my spine. Li Jiechen, who had come back to my side, took off his jacket and soothed me gently. "Don't be afraid. I'm here." Liu Yan committed murder. I was originally the only witness, but now Li Jiechen has become the witness. Without video evidence, Liu Yan will most likely go all out and strike first. Eyewitnesses are in danger. He must have thought of that too just now, which is why he held me back and didn't let me step forward. My hand trembled as I grabbed Li Jiechen's hand. "Call the police. Call them right now." He held me tight, his forehead pressed against mine, his body heat radiating onto me. Xian, calm down. Calm. No, I can't calm down. He'll stop at nothing." I saw and experienced firsthand just how ruthless Liu Yan could be in my previous life. Tears welled up in my eyes. I was really scared. I'm so afraid that Li Jiechen will end up getting taken out by Liu Yan, just like in the last life. Li Jiechen held me close and whispered soothingly in my ear with great patience. "Everything will be fine. Trust me. Okay. Trust me." My heart, which had been trembling uncontrollably, gradually calmed down. I sniffed and said, "Honey, we need to figure out what to do first." "What did you call me?" His dark eyes sparkled as he gazed at me intently. "Say it again." He grinned like an idiot. "Li Jiechen. It's getting late, can't he prioritize what's important?" "Say it one more time." Xian. It sounds so nice. I pushed him away. Stop messing around. Let's get out of here while there are still people around. The Liu family's second son was pulled from the water already dead. The cruise ship docked. Upon hearing the news, the elderly Liu couple were so overcome with grief that they both fainted at the feet of their deceased son. Liu Yan hypocritically took charge of handling everything, even putting on a solemn expression when speaking with the police. Xian. You go back with big brother first. Li Jiechen gently kissed my forehead and naturally reached up to smooth my long hair, which had been tousled by the sea breeze. A sense of foreboding crept over me once again, and I instinctively grabbed his hand. No. Let's go back together. Okay. I'll take care of that. I'll go with you. Silly. There are some things girls shouldn't watch. In the end, Li Jiechen convinced me, and I got into my older brother's car to head home. No sooner had the car pulled into the garage than I got a call. Li Jiechen had been in an accident. The location was the one Li Jiechen had mentioned, the stretch of road where he had his accident in his previous life. The blood ran cold in my veins the moment I heard the news. Tears welled up in my eyes, and with a trembling voice, I told the driver to turn the car around immediately. In this life, Liu Yan is even more ruthless and decisive. He didn't even give anyone a single night's notice. To uproot everything, completely abandoning all humanity and conscience. After several hours of emergency treatment, Li Jiechen was out of danger, but he was told that he might remain unconscious. As I looked at him lying in the hospital bed, I bit my lip hard. I couldn't stop blaming myself. He wouldn't have acted that way if it weren't to protect me. Liu Yan, just you wait. The net of heaven is wide. Yet nothing escapes it. I found evidence that Liu Yan killed his brother. There was a rich kid on board with a girlfriend at the time. The girl recorded a video to show off to her friends, and it just so happened to capture the moment when Liu Yan pushed someone into the water. Liu Yan was taken away by the police. The evidence of his wife's murder was subsequently confirmed, and he was sentenced to death. By the time it was all over, a month had passed, but Li Jiechen still showed no signs of waking up. I took the good news to the hospital and, as usual, gave Li Jiechen, who was still lying in bed, unconscious, a massage. Liu Yan was sentenced to death today. Honey, when are you going to wake up? Didn't you want to hear me call you honey? Honey, honey. Suddenly, his finger twitched slightly. I froze, my heart skipping a beat. Li Jiechen, can you hear me? Suddenly remembering something, I changed the subject. Honey, are you listening to me? His heavy eyelids finally fluttered open. Li Jiechen's eyes were filled with deep affection as he whispered, say it again. Honey, honey, honey. I was laughing so hard I started crying, and I threw myself into his arms. Li Jiechen, you gave me such a scare. He finally woke up. This time, we're all doing fine. Magpies were chirping outside the window, and he said, that sounds lovely. I nestled against his chest, resting my head on his shoulder without moving. It sounds so nice when you call me husband. Xian. From now on, you have to listen. Okay. For the rest of my life. Yeah. For the rest of my life. 10 years later, Li Jiechen had become a powerhouse in Beijing's elite circles. But everyone knew that his wife was a force to be reckoned with. He is often described as a behind-the-scenes power broker in Beijing's political circles. It is said that his wife controls 2/3 of his business empire. Well, his wife is Melon Xian. Also, I've heard this is correct.